Good morning. My name is Matthew Moore. I'm the Senior Technician for Traffic Safety Corporation. We're introducing a series of videos for the TS1000 and TS1100 crosswalk systems for troubleshooting and system functions. Our first section will be an overview and layout of the components and subsystems using a TS1100. The TS1100 and TS1000 are very similar and basic in function. We will begin with our input. We have 120 volts AC that will be introduced through our terminal block and through our 5 amp circuit breaker, which will provide a quick disconnect of power from our controller. Our 120 volts then goes to a surge protector, which is in line to protect our power supply from any transient or lightning strikes. Anything over 140 volts AC will be terminated to ground. Then going from our surge protection, we will have 120 volts that will be introduced to our power supply. When turned on, the power supply has a green LED that will indicate that power is on, and it will then convert our 120 volts AC into 12 volts DC on the output. Also represented will be a green LED for our 12 volt DC output that is then going to our system, which will provide 12 volts DC for our entire system. This will include our timer, which will be our controller that will activate the controller and will serve as the timing device for our output. Also, we have a power interrupt card, which will be a replacement for our power supply. In the case of an interrupt, it will activate and supply power the same as our power supply to the system, and also our terminations will be for our output fixtures and for our activation devices. Our troubleshooting philosophy will be 3 parts. The first being observation, an actual visual presentation. We have a lot of devices which we have that we'll be able to use. For instance, our output flashing becomes an indicator. Also on our control board, we have our outputs A and B. We have also another display as well as various LEDs that we will be able to use to help us with our troubleshooting. Secondly, isolation. To take our control and separate it perhaps from our outputs to determine which way to go into our output or on our control, or sometimes even our input itself. Then thirdly, verification. We will use a multimeter to take actual voltage readings and also to do dormant continuity checks throughout our system. This is what we will use: observation, isolation, and verification.